Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing the November stripped down challenge. If you don't know what the stripped down challenge is, basically you record a video, you cannot edit it, you cannot pause recording, you cannot add sound effects, nothing. Like, it's just a very, like, it really lets you know who somebody is. So like last time, people were singing so loudly next door that I could hear them. I don't know, I don't think that you could hear it in the video, but I could personally hear them, and it like threw me off, and I was like sitting there like looking like this, and I could not take that out or pause recording because that's the rules of the stripped down challenge. So yeah, and basically you just talk about whatever. So last time I asked for some suggestions on things, and then one thing was college tips, and last time I talked about, you know, the importance of like planning and stuff like that, and like getting involved. But I do want to reiterate the fact that as a like, not necessarily as you're older, like when you're older in college, but as a freshman in college, one of the worst things you can do is not get involved and isolate yourself, especially like, that's not as bad as like if you if you go to school, like if you isolate yourself from meeting new people. Like if you go to school with people you graduated with or you were friends with already, it's a little bit different. But if you basically, and like if you're living at home and like you're a commuter student, that's still different. But if you are a freshman in college who is living on campus and isn't getting involved and isn't making effort to make friends, you're gonna be miserable. Trust me, I did that to myself last year. Like, my first weekend down here, I called home crying because I just didn't think I could do it. And like I didn't have any friends down here yet, so it was a little bit nerve-wracking because I had never been by myself, and so it was like my first like move away from home. So, and it was just, it was rough, especially that first weekend. And I was gonna drop out, and I was gonna move back home, and my mom didn't want me to, and so I ended up staying, and I'm glad that I stayed. But at the same time, last year the only thing I really got involved in was this like first year leadership program, and we met like once a week for like a month and a half, and then after that I didn't have anything. But first semester I did have a roommate, but we didn't really talk ever. We were both the same major, but we were two different kinds of people. Like, she was a partier, I'm not. So it was just kind of like, first semester I definitely went home quite often just because I felt like I had nobody. And definitely do not do that to yourself. Regardless of what you have to do in order to make friends, like, put yourself out there, especially like those first few weeks of school. Everybody who's a freshman is going to be just as nervous and wanting to make friends just like you, and I wish that that's something I would have known going into it, was that there are people out there looking to make friends, and they're just as nervous as you are. And then second semester, for me personally, my roommate moved out during Christmas break, so I like bought out the other bed space, and I didn't have a roommate, and I didn't do any sort of like activities. Like, basically I went to class, came back to my room, and watched Netflix. And I do regret doing that, in that I feel like I could have made so many more friends had I actually put forth the effort to do so. Um, but I'm one of those people that it's really hard for me to put myself in situations that make me uncomfortable, and like it's really hard for me to put myself out there because like I mean that's just how I've always been, is like I was one of the more quiet people, and I just didn't really um, talk to people in general. Like I had a very up until like probably high school, I had a very, very small friend group, and then in high school, the only reason it really opened up more was because I did color guard and color guard, marching band, stuff like that. And there are so many people involved in that you make friends you probably never thought you would. Like honestly, if you're going into high school and you're not, if you play an instrument and you're not planning on doing marching band, I would reconsider, because honestly, marching band is one of the like biggest family aspects, and you make friends you probably never thought you would. Um, what was I saying? And like, my school has a color guard, and they only do flag, but I really wish I had done it last year, just because it would have given me more opportunity to meet people. And I mean, it's something I really love to do, but it just, there was just something about it when I went to audition. For one, I forgot my music, but two, there was just something about it that just didn't seem right. Like, ever since the first time I auditioned in high school, like, I knew people there, and like I knew the like one of the coaches because she was my band teacher. But when I went into that room, something just felt wrong. Like I just felt like I didn't belong there. And I just felt like it wasn't going to be a good fit for me. So I didn't do it. And I regret it in some ways. But also I don't, because if I had done it, I wouldn't have gotten to go home as much as I did last year. And that was something that was really important for me to be able to do. So. But yeah, I mean, definitely don't exclude yourself. Like, I don't have a roommate now, but I have made friends. My boyfriend goes to school here too, and so it's different. Like, actually have a job on campus this year, but it's just different this year. Like last year, especially second semester, I really kind of secluded myself, and it just kind of made things worse. And like, that's what, like, I mean, yeah, there are so many things that I could say in regards to, why, it's important not to do that to yourself, just because, it's not healthy. I mean, I literally would be able to watch whole seasons and a half of shows in just a weekend, because all I would do on weekends, unless I was at home, was I would leave to get food, and then I would bring my food back here, and then watch more Netflix. And like, looking back now, I realize how bad that was for me. And like, I mean, there are plenty of other things I could have done with my time. Like, I could have, like, last year I wanted to go and work out, but I was too intimidated by the rec center, and I was afraid that people would judge me for being there. But I mean, that's dumb. Like, obviously if I'm there, I'm putting forth the effort to work on myself, And so, I mean, I think most of my problem was I gave myself like irrational fears that I shouldn't have had. And I was just like really worried about what people other people's perception of me, and so I like just secluded myself so I wouldn't have to deal with other people, and it's just really unhealthy. Um, and it definitely made me feel worse whenever people would talk about, hanging out with their friends that they'd made, and me realizing that I had made none. So definitely get involved. Make friends with people in your classes, because you never know when you guys could make a study group. Like if you and other people in your class wanted to get together and study for a test, make a study group. Like second semester, the really only outside contact I had was there were two girls in my math class, and we also had science together. And we had a group chat, and we would talk about we would ask each other questions if we needed help, and that was really my only contact, and it was nice. Like, it was nice to have something else. But I don't know. I've honestly, if I could go back, there are so many things I would do that I didn't. But at the same time, I really think it made me learn about myself and things that are and aren't good for me. So, I mean, it was a learning experience, and now, like, things are a lot better now. And, like, I've made friends with people, I have a job on campus, I'm in clubs, my boyfriend's here, so I have, I do talk to other people, and honestly, it's a lot better. Like, and I honestly, as a person, feel better. Like, last year, I just felt horrible all the time. And it took a toll on me. But things are a lot better now, so that's always good. Uh, um, let's see. Let's talk about something that makes me less I honestly I feel like I want to cry. So let's talk about something that makes me less want to cry, especially since I can't edit that out if I do cry. Um, so we'll go on to something that's more like a happier topic. Okay, so today I was looking on Facebook, and there was this thing, and it said should cursive be taught in schools? And when I was in obviously when I was in elementary school, why is it obviously? When I was in elementary school, we learned cursive. Um, I still write in cursive, but a lot of people did not don't learn cursive. Like, my boyfriend's a year younger than me, and he does not know how to write anything cursive, not even his name. Um, and so my thoughts on that are, I mean, cursive's important to learn, because I mean, any contracts, legal documents, checks, anything like that, they're supposed to have a signature. Anything that needs a signature is cursive, not your name printed. It is cursive, and so many people wouldn't if they were to go and sign a contract, which I mean, I know most people that didn't learn aren't gonna be going and signing contracts, but if you can't even write your own name in cursive, what are you gonna do when it comes time to sign a lease for an apartment, the deed to your house? Cursive is important, and I do think that it should be taught in the full extent, but at least kids should know how to write their names. And I don't know if maybe it's that teacher side of me that thinks that this should be a thing. Um, but I think these kids that don't know how to write in cursive are really missing out. And like, I know they used to say, like, oh, we teach you how to write in cursive because if you're taking notes, writing in cursive is faster than printing. It depends on the person. Like, I write in cursive quite often, so for me, it's honestly it's faster for me. But somebody who doesn't know cursive that well, not really. And like, it used to be a really big emphasis, and like, you know, after you learn cursive, it was like all your assignments must be written in cursive. Oh, we're going to count them as wrong, and you're gonna have to redo them. And like, I don't know. Like, I've changed quite a few things about, like, I don't know, I just think cursive's important. I think at bare minimum, you should know how to write your own name. Like, that's a bare minimum. But, like, over the years, I noticed that, like, I've changed my handwriting style, I guess. Like, when I was, like, elementary level, before I learned cursive, it was very, like, standard cut and paste, like a cut, I don't know, like a very, like, standard print. And then after I learned how to write in cursive, they made you do that, so I wrote like that for a while. And then after that, in like middle school, and like used to, I wrote my twos without the little like loop, but I wrote them like that kind of thing. Then like after that, I changed it to where my twos had the loop, and then my A's had the little like up, like the up and then the A, you know what I'm talking about. And then I changed how I wrote my sevens, and I like wrote the little like line in the middle. And like now, I write my twos like how I did a long time ago without the little loop. My A's, I write in cursive, so my A's are just kind of a fluent thing. And like my sevens, I still write them with the little like line through them. And I write my Z's like that too, with the line through them. But my handwriting's definitely evolved. But I still use cursive. Like, I use cursive quite often. Like, if you were to go through my notes and stuff, it's like a mix of both. Like, sometimes I'll start writing in print and then it like changes to cursive. And like, some people's complaint with cursive is that it's hard to read. It's hard to read if you don't use it. So like, the last time you really used cursive was like in elementary school. You know, you're not really going to remember how to write it, so why would you remember how to read it? That'd be like if, because that's kind of similar to like, it's a foreign thing to you, so like, just because, you know how to write, doesn't mean you know how to write in German, and you know how to read German. Cursive is a similar concept of, just because you know how to write, if you don't know how to write in cursive, or you don't use your cursive, it's not going to be the same as if you you use print normally and use like a standard font, if you will. Normally, it's going to be harder for you to read something that you're not used to. So the whole thing of people shouldn't teach cursive because it's hard to read is a bunch of crap. It's not hard to read if you use it. Now, do I think that a kindergarten teacher should use cursive? No, because generally you learned cursive in like 3rd, 4th grade. But after that point, if a teacher writes in cursive, if a student has learned how to write in cursive and complains that it's hard to read, they just need to start using their cursive. Most teachers don't write in cursive because kids complain. And I think it's a bunch of crap when people say that cursive is hard to read, and that's why they shouldn't teach it, because that's not why it shouldn't be taught. Like, that has no effect on why it shouldn't be taught. It should be taught because it is like a useful skill. And just because you have problems reading it doesn't mean that it should not be taught in a school. Because a kid should be able to sign their own names at the bare minimum. And I'm sorry if someone signs their name on something and then you can't read it, that's on you. Because legal documents are supposed to be signed with a signature. Signature equals cursive. Man, I got on a whole tangent about cursive. I guess you know. I'm gonna be a teacher, huh? I know this is, and there's stuff on it. But yeah, I guess you know I'm gonna go to school to be a teacher. No, oh my gosh. So I'm filming, obviously, and my boyfriend texted me before I started filming this, and he's like, "Are you done?" And I was like, "Not yet." And now he just now texted me. He was like, "Are you done now?" I'm like, "No, I'm not done, John." I'll even link my boyfriend tag if I, oh my goodness, if I remember to do it. Oh my nose. But yeah, that was a cute sight. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this here since someone's being cranky. But yeah, that was it for this month's stripped down challenge. If you like what you saw and you want to subscribe to my channel, there'll be a little circle over on this side with my face on it, and you can click on that and subscribe. Or if you want to watch my most recent video, there'll be a little box over here on this side on the bottom. And since I mentioned my boyfriend, I'll leave my boyfriend tag in a box up here. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!